Welcome to the FMQ, the seed of, in this case, the seed of success. We're going to have a longer podcast of diving deeper, but I want you to think of a few things. All you have to do is, listen for a little bit, watch for a little bit, get your mind going, and see what intuitively comes up as being the right thing to do. So, the physiology of success. I'm a winner. I've got a winner's mindset. Do you know what? I say positive things over and over again. I have a positive mantra. And do you know what? It gets louder and louder and louder and louder. I've got this. Oh, that's not the physiology of success, is it? That's the psychology of success. That's up in here. And you need it up here. Some people will say, there's 10% of success is in the mind, but it's that special 10%. And they're not wrong. But you can't have one without the other. You can't have a mind without the body. You can't have a body without the mind. You can't have all the things that make your mind fresh and alive without a body that's fresh and alive and acting in a particular way. And what am I talking about is the physiology of success. If you think about it, or if you can remember the 5 keys to success, I talk about it loads of times, I've got it everywhere. The 5th key is acting as if with a psychology and a physiology of success. The two together, you can't have one without the other. Now, knowing that you need up here, it would be silly if you didn't have everything else, wouldn't it? You see, and I'm not talking about being physically fit, but you might need it for certain things. If your goals, your dreams and desires are one of being superbly fit, you're going to need your body. You're going to have to do all sorts of things. If you're mountain climbing or doing all that stuff, you're going to have to do that. But I'm not talking about the physically fit bit. You have to be that anyway, I guess. And if you're in personal development, you are going to want that part of your body or part of you to be as best it can be, just as you want your brain to be the best it can be, so you can be integrated, aligned, congruent, all that stuff. That's what we do. But without a physiology of success, it's the way you move, the way you breathe, where your muscles just seem to act as if you're doing what you should be doing. So what I mean is, if you could just think about doing something, you have it all up here, you've learnt what it's all about, but you've never actually done it, you'd have a bit of a problem. But if you can visualize it a little bit, visualize yourself and see yourself doing it, or watching somebody else do it and go, I see how they move, how they balance. You're starting to get the physiology of success. You're beginning to act as if. And if you're going to succeed at anything in life, every goal, every dream, every desire, every different part of your life, when you've got it, you are acting as if you've got it, because you have. You're thinking you've got it, because you have. You're aligned. And you see, without the two together, you're lost. So you can do all the planning, you can do all the steps, but we need to get this physiology of success, acting as if. Because I say, this applies to everything. It applies to things like your career. If you're trying to be a salesman, or you're giving ideas and you're motivating people, if you act like you're depressed and you're hunched over and you've got nothing about you, ain't going to happen, is it? You might have the right words, but without the right, some people call it body language, but that's not it, is it? It's that just a communication, non-verbal communication, where your non-verbals, your body, your movement, the sound of your voice, the way you breathe, the way you look, the intensity, as well as what the words mean, that's when you get it. Relationships. You can say to somebody, "Oh, I love you. I love you. Oh, you mean the most to me." Or you can say, "Yeah, I love you. Yeah, you mean the most to me, don't you? Yeah." Same words, same bloody words, but they're not together. You have to put them all together. So relationships, going out with your friends, socializing, everything that you want is aligned. And this is where we're going to go. How do we get the psychology and the physiology of success? And we're going to talk about physiology because I believe not many people talk about it. They talk about how you've got to think, what type of words, the tactics. But they don't tell you how to put it all together. Because when you put it all together and you do it properly, you're not faking it until you make it. We've talked about that so many other times. Faking it, it's in the bloody title, faking. And when you're the real you, and they call it the authentic you, but the real you ain't faking it, are you? Because you can't fake yourself. You're telling little fibs if you're not fully aligned. So we've got to get that physiology of success. Truly aligned. Being yourself. And how we're going to do that. Well, that's in the next deeper dive. You see, in the next deeper dive, we're going to explore something I think is really fascinating. I think you'll find it fascinating. It'll be so interesting because it's not just the what, it's the how. The bit that people miss out. And what happens when you do, and when you start, changing yourself back into yourself, as it were. Your goals, your dreams, everything you want to create in life, the good life, the brilliant life, will start to come to you naturally. And the thing is, this is what I found out after a while. It's not just about you. I actually think it was just about you. You've got to get it. But when you're in this wonderful way of being, then you create changes in other people too, because you show them what's available to them. Look at him, look at her. Oh man, if she can have it, if he could have it, I can do it too. You become that example of what can be done. And that's without trying. You're not trying to be the example, you just are. And the ripples of change go further and wider. So if you want to come into this little deeper dive of knowing how to be the real you, come with me. I'll see you next time on the deeper dive. Hey, on this FMQ, the Seed to the Longer podcast, where we're going to dive into something really fascinating, it's not just about the psychology of success, the winning mindset, that I've got this, I just so positive up here. No, there's also the physiology of success, because without both, you can't have one without the other. You have to have both. And that's where we're going to go. So come and have a listen to this and see if I can just, whet your taste buds. Tickle your fancy, as they say. Come with me on this.